Hello everybody, welcome along to the biggest event so far in MMS history. Today we are at the historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first running of the MMS 250. As the cars are making their way around the circuit, we are about to go racing here for the most sought after event in this championship. This is the one everybody wants to win. It's the most grueling yet satisfying race to win. 40 aspiring drivers will be trying to do so today. As the cars are coming around the final corner now, we have a lot to talk about. Lot to be expected from this race. 100 laps ahead of us here in the state of Indiana at IMS.
Grandstands. I don't know why the field is so spread, but oh well.
Right, pace car is coming into the pit lane now. We are about to go green here. First lap of 100, the first mile of 250 will be commenced very, very shortly as they come to the line.
Here we go. Good use Pietria Paul Sitter. And
we are green, I think, for Indy. No, they're still going under. The pace car's still out on track, actually.
That's a full pace lap. Okay, that's weird.
We're doing a full pace lap. Okay, then.
I mean, makes sense. It's the Indy.
It just gives us more to talk about. So, we have Egidijus Pietri on pole position. He's the 5th different person to score a pole this season. We've had 6 rounds. That means we have had 1 repeat pole man. That's Friedrich Arts. Took 2 pole positions in a row. Only man to take more than 1.
British Arts trying to be quite. He tends to be good in qualifying on road courses, not so much during the race. In fact, the only person who has won from pole, who is that? Wait, that was Alexis Suominen in round 3.
In round 3, yes. And even then, Suominen didn't lead the majority of the race.
Yeah.
In terms of a stat that you won't want to hold, Yaya Tunde is the only full-time driver still to score points this entire season.
Yeah, unlucky.
And with 20 people getting points today, more than the usual 18, there's a little bit higher of a chance, although we do have more cars on the grid.
Yeah, we have 40 cars. The MMS sanctioning body decided to create a team, especially a special occasion for the 250 race. 4 drivers are in the lineup. It's Andrew Mondragon, Evelyn Toogood and Michael Teller, all from MMS F1, and Shimon Witt, who's a total guest in this race. Okay, here we go then.
This will be it then. Pace car will come in.
Oh, that's okay then.
Harvey's already pulling ahead. I don't know if that's supposed to be happening. Pietri's meant to be on pole. I guess that's a common theme.
Here we go, green flag.
So we are under green flag racing now. We are underway. Lap 1 of 100 has started. We have Isabel Harvey leading the Indianapolis 250, leading the MMS 250 here at Indianapolis, with Pietri in 2nd position, already losing a place at the start and already being caught by the man in 3rd place here. We'll be looking to take that 2nd place away from him. Michael Teller, indeed, looking to make a good impression here in IndyCar.
Oh, that's a car out of the pits. That's
a car coming out of the pits.
Yeah, that's Nisbet.
It is Nisbet.
I think he. I know why we did the full pace lap. I think his car stalled.
Must have done, because he's now being swamped by everyone else. He's probably a lap down.
He is already a lap down, so already TJ Nisbet, horrible start to the Indy 500. Oh,
and that's Michael Teller, and it's about everybody coming into the pit lane already in the first lap. So what on earth is going on here? Have we found a problem with the cars or the tyres or something? But look at all the cars coming in. That's all the way back to Chinami in the background. Number 18's into the pits. Harvey, the race leader, into the pits. We have Pascala trying to overtake the Penske car, that's for 15th position. Matthias Kraus.
I call undercut.
He's in 14th at the start.
Yeah, there's Friedrich Arts. So this will completely mess everything up.
That's a move from the Chip Ganassi car up the inside. That's Whitaker making a move and not pulling it off. Toby Bullard, championship leader, 64 points in the championship, 15 clear of anyone else. He has 3 podiums, more than any other driver, and he's looking to make it 4 podiums with his 3rd in a row if he gets it today. He's currently in 9th position, so it's not all out of the window. Would be quite challenging for him to do so, though, particularly because the man in 7th position right now is seemingly holding them up. That's Ethan Bishop. He's already got a bit of a gap ahead of him.
And look at this, it's such a weird field. The strategy is so weird around Indianapolis. I don't know what the teams and the drivers.
Here comes Valjak on the Irish Schmidt-Peterson car, and she makes that look very. Oh, actually into the wall there.
Tanaman taps the one. Davide Ragano qualified 34th, already up at the P6, but mind you, the majority of the field already has done pits, so... Well, I say majority,
speaking of, I think that's a lapped car, the number 18 there. That is a lapped car coming to the pit lane. Nisbet, position 26, so he's actually not even that far down. We have, how do you say it? Cyclone?
Cyclone already a lap down as well.
He's already pitted as well, so Nisbet and Cyclone seem lapped cars in this race.
This is all the lapped cars. The leader, Egidius Pietri, is now basically stuck behind lapped cars.
Fair play, actually. So yeah, that's all 4 lapped cars ahead of Pietri, so my mistake there. One of them, De Campo, being held up, losing places, now holding up the race leader.
The number 66 hasn't participated in the race.
That's another car in the pit lane.
The number 66, who's that? That's Laura
That would be Laura Toogood. That would be Laura Toogood.
She isn't even the race. She isn't even out, so I assume a mechanical failure forbid her basically from even participating in the race.
So it goes from bad to worse, not only qualifying towards the bottom, but also not the best start, obviously not being able to take it. And look at this train of cars that De Campo is holding up. Finally, Pietri's going to go for turn 3. That's not going to work out. De Campo had the overspeed and cut inside, taking a normal line, shutting the door on our race leader.
Pietri seems to be rather too calm, in my opinion. I mean, he has to overtake De Campo. He's losing so much time. De Jong basically is waiting for next 2 turns, maybe, and then he will make his move on the back stretch. If not sooner.
Yes, in the Andretti. It's real. Actually, it might be now on the exit of turn 2 because Pietri has lost the Irish McPederson car ahead of him, and now here comes Stefan de Jong. Oh, we have a caution now. That is a pace car. We have a caution. Now, who's been off the road?
That's a very good question.
Cycling back, we're not really seeing it. Takashiro has come into the pit lane. Whether that's routine or not, we're going to find out.
No, it's not over
It is not a routine pit stop. Something has gone wrong.
It's into turn 1.
This is the championship contender. He's 4th in the standings right now. Takashiro through turn 1.
What happened here?
It is all clean through turn 1. There's still a bit of a cluster. Oh, that's up the inside. That was, oh goodness me, that's a huge incident. That was Friedrich Arts, I think.
No, it was Vit. That's the debuting Polish driver. Literally just smashing into Takashiro.
And Vit has retired from this race. Look, off goes the right front. That is a big crash onto the concrete wall, scraping against the undertray of the car. Very similar to Felix Rosenquist's accident in Pocono.
Jesus Christ.
That is an enormous crash. No wonder there was a caution for it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Takashiro is still in this race after all that. He flipped as well. But
Takashiro's kept on going and has made it back to the pit lane. Same can't be said about the man debut, who is out of this race.
And now we will probably see the majority of the pack kind of, you know, equalizing itself, as some might come into the pits and serve their pit stop, mainly the top of the field, pardon. Yep, as I say,
you were correct. Cyclone's already been into the pit lane, as has Nisbet, but those cars, Whittaker, Bishop, they haven't pitted yet.
I don't know what Nisbet is doing, but it's another visit in the pits.
Well, it might just be as a caution, just a chance to get fresh tyres on, although it is a...
Yeah, I mean, he might have run over the debris and got a puncture, you never know.
He has actually he jumped Stefan de Jong, and he might jump Pietri.
Yep,
he has jumped ahead of both of them. Now, Pietri won't matter because that is a lap down, but I don't know if Stefan de Jong is a lap down or not.
Yeah, the 66 is still not out, so I assume Laura Toogood with a mechanical failure at the start, basically at the lineup on the back stretch, out of the race. That must be a gutting feeling, though.
It must be, yes. This is such a prestigious event to retire so soon from it.
Oh, and Nisbet is... I have no clue what he is doing.
Oh, he's been hit up the back. What is going on?
Nice porridge, yeah.
TJ Nisbet's just been hit by Ronnie Chauffeur, who's in 3rd place.
The pace car. Just ignore that, let's just go with the pace car.
Let's just go with the pace car, because it's the only thing that's somewhat consistent right now.
Yeah, so first caution of the race, which is quite interesting to say the least.
These drivers do need to start forming up a bit, though. They are way behind.
It's just a bit of a thingy on this.
We're very spread out.
This is the cleanest Indy I found. So they sometimes scribble on the back stretch, the drivers, trying to warm up the tires. At least that's my
That's
explanation.
Ben Misery, championship contender, 32nd position right now.
Yeah, that's...
So that's all gone off. Suo Milan also not great. Camper 35th, Mondragon 15th. There's everyone now going by, all the lapped cars are trying to unlap themselves.
Oh, the pace car is in.
Pace car's coming to the pits, so we are under green flag racing, and perfect restart from Pietri, who is back into the race lead and has a buffer of a lapped car in between him and the nearest competition to him. That being TJ Nisbet.
22 cars already a lap down, 2 drivers retired, so Takashiro couldn't withstand the damage. Sadly.
Championship contender is out. Vit, of course, we know retired. We saw his wheel, but Takashiro made it back to pit lane.
Meanwhile, Max and Kraus
coming under attack from Kraus here, and we've got the
lapped, though.
behind as well of Tallerman, and here he comes. Might go up the inside into the last corner.
No,
he stays on the high side and looking now. Valyak's coming up the inside. Valyak has already dropped inside of Kraus pits. Chauffeur pits, my bad. Valyak is going to overtake Tannerman, and that is for a place on the podium, I believe.
Yes, it is. It's for P3.
That's for third place. And they're both catching up to the lap cars of Stefan de Jong here, and Valyak's not done yet. She flies up the inside on the low side of the circuit. She flies past Kraus, and it's up into second position
that's a
now.
lap car. Kraus is lapped.
Oh, Kraus is lapped. Okay, so we have Stefan de Jong in second place.
Yeah, he's in second place, right ahead of Valyak, so I believe she can get the Dodge driver quite...
De Jong looks very desperate to overtake Nisbet. That might compromise him. He was very low coming into the corner.
Yep.
But no, he's still in the slipstream of the Andretti. Both those cars are Andretti, so they don't take each other out, being teammates.
I mean, you say that, but we have plenty of incidents all around the MMS sanctioned events where the teammates take each other out.
Indeed, we have had that, yes. You can still see the skid marks from Vit's car.
217 miles an hour. Make it to 218. Those cars
Here goes De Jong again. No, he's not going to be able to pull that one off. He's just being frustrated. Nisbet really holding up these guys here. Now through the last corner at turn 4, onto the main straight. They're going to pass by the pits here as well. There's the pit lane entrance that you saw. Is De Jong going to go for it into turn 1 again? He looks way too far back. And he is. He's not going to be able to go for that one. Nisbet just holding a nice line. Not allowing anybody to slip a car up his inside or go high and overtake him there. Nope. And he is holding up an enormous train of cars. Toby Bullard's catching up to the back of these guys as well, just behind them. So, we are on lap 11 of 100 here at the MMS 250 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the state of Indiana in the United States of America. About to start lap 12, and we've had one caution already in this race. We have Pietro retaining from pole, leading this race. We have Eva Valyak in second position. Very good start from her, and in third position we have Tannerman in the Aaron Schmidt-Peterson car. There are already a lot of cars a lap down. Most of the cars in this shot are a lap down. You can see Toby Bullard in the background there in the middle of it. He's not a lap down. That's crucial because he is one of the championship contenders coming into the pit lane. That's Eva Valyak coming into the pits from second position for a change of tyres. Okay. Let's just make sure that you're switching drivers at the time as Davide Regano. He's third in the championship. Look up to second as he's trying to overtake Tannerman. This is for a spot on the podium. Tannerman gets up high and loses a lot of grip up on the high side and is down to fourth as Regano's taken third place. And it might get worse because here comes Ethan Bishop now trying to take fourth place away from Tannerman's Irish, but Peterson just about alongside on the low side coming into turn 3. Is this going to work out for him? Tannerman stays high, and Bishop has got past, and also Cycron in the number 18 is also trying to get past here, and is successful. And now here comes, I think that's Lucien or Arts, one of those two. It looks like Arts to me, trying to also overtake. I believe he is a lap down. And up the inside he goes, and he has picked up a track position. So everything is still, it's not really calmed down. We have an enormous train of cars still, also, but now people are actually starting to make moves. They've stopped being in single file all the way through, and at the front of this queue now is no longer TJ Nisbet. He's lost a place there to another car. Still holding up Stefan de Jong, though, his teammate, and still holding up the effective podium, which is all allowing just Pietri to bolt off. I don't know where Pietri is on circuit, but we can't see him in any of these shots. I presume he's rather far ahead of this pack. On board with Frederick Arts in 21st position, trying to take 20th away from Lucien, and successfully doing so. So he's now up into a points position. He'll pick up 1 point if he finishes in that position. We're in that currently that 14 of 100. And we've got a move there. That is Marchetti trying to make a move. He's currently 6th position in this Grand Prix, and Bullard's also making a move up the inside there. That's crucial for him. He needs to pick up as much track position as he can, because he needs a very good result here to keep his consistency in that championship. He's currently in 7th place, which will be, I believe, 14 points coming his way. Yes, it will be 14 points coming his way if he finishes in that position as Nisbet comes to the pits for a 3rd time in 15 laps. That's quite a ridiculous strategy if you were to ask me. Must do, yes. Bullard sitting in the slipstream with Marchetti, championship leader, looking to get himself on the podium for a 3rd race running. But when will all these guys come into the pits? Because we saw the undercut doesn't seem to work too well. Overcut seems to work a lot better in this race so far. Nisbet's rejoined in 34th position in the number 28 DHL sponsored Andretti car. He's about to start his 15th lap. And back here we have Barton and Valyak, who's also made a and is in 26th position with Isabel Harvey, who's a lap ahead, trying to overtake them. We have Waltrip in 12th, Gradin in 28th, Taggart 27th. So, well, not all the way around now. And Yaya Tunde trying to make a move on Taggart, unsuccessful attempt on the low side at turn 1. No cautions being called yet. Ben Misery still in the bottom 30 and being overtaken by 2, 3, or maybe 4 of the cars in one corner. So he must have had a really bad run. De Campo side by side with another car in the background. I think that's Kraus he's going side by side with. I couldn't quite make it out. And here, that was the race leader Pietri just behind. And then we have Evelyn Toogood, another MMS F1 sponsored driver. As De Campo gets swamped by other cars, he's currently 32nd, and I do not think he will be getting points this race unless there is another caution. But the caution last time out didn't really seem to bunch people up that much. They kind of all kept to their own bubble. A couple of laps cars tried to unlap themselves but didn't get anywhere near close enough. And we were left in a scenario where it really wasn't that affected. All that really was affected was the speed of every car, but not really the gaps in between anybody. So it didn't really seem to work out. Hopefully, if we do have another caution next time out, it will work out slightly better than it already has. But everything kind of settling into position now here in Indy. No real moves being made. I say that, Pietri's looking very feisty. Effective race leader. We're on board with Ethan. We're looking at Ethan Bishop. 3rd place, trying to overtake Stefan de Jong's lapped car. Now, I don't know who's in 2nd place in this race. I'd hazard again. Oh, it's Stefan de Jong still. Okay. So de Jong on the back of, I believe, is Kraus. Schuffer again. I keep getting those two mixed up. Kraus is behind. He has more white on his car. I will try not to make that mistake again. He's trying to overtake Schuffer, who's a lap down. But this is a common theme you see at Indy or ovals in general. You have a lot of lapped cars, and they all get mixed up between the actual race leaders. As Ethan Bishop is trying to make a move on Stefan de Jong here. This is looking to pull out to the low side. Unsuccessful in his attempt to do that. We're going to go on board with him now. Through turn 3, through the banked corner. And he was closing there and lifted off a little bit. And now into turn 4. And again, closing a little bit in the corner, but this time he hasn't really backed off coming out of it. He's got a nice... But de Jong has the speed, I think, to maintain that position coming into turn 1. As there's a move being made between 2 lapped cars there. As Bishop... well, actually, that's de Jong overtaking another car. and Bishop has followed him through in that. So he's trying to stick with his rival. He's been very successful in that bid so far, still right behind the rear wing of that Napoli Andretti 27 car. Coming into turn 3 for the 21st out of 100 times. We're just over 1/5 distance in this race. We've had so far, for those keeping a clock count, about just under 20 minutes of this race. There's a move from De Jong trying to get past Ron. Coming into the first corner. He's just going to sit behind that car. But a few talking points we'd have to say, well, regarding this race, just how big these trains are. I mean, just look in the shot behind. We have a train of 5 cars here, but behind them, there's a train of about 15, 16 cars. Many cars deciding rather to have the draft or the slipstream, for those unfamiliar with the word, trying to make moves into corners just by kind of bump drafting cars. And I don't know what a camshaft actually is, but one has failed on the number 10 car, so that number 10 is out of this race. We have so far 4 retirements, if you're including 3 retirements from this Grand Prix. A lot of drivers, though, a lap down. The top 10 all still within 8 seconds. See, despite the fact that Pietri, for the majority of this race, has had it all to himself, as that was De Jong initially going up the inside of Ronnie Chauffeur, unsuccessfully getting past, though, and now has to worry about Ethan Bishop right behind if he gets a bad run through here. And Bishop's run was spectacular. Really nice run out from Bishop out of the corner. And we've got Ragano just in the background as well through turn 1. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water because my mouth's getting a bit dry. But these guys not lapping very quickly. Look at the lap times, 43.4, 43.5, 44.6 there. My goodness, that's slow. You get the feeling that pit stops might be coming around soon if that's side by side just behind Pascal. That's Atkinson in the pink IndyCar trying to make a move on, I don't know who it is. Yes, correct. Oh yes, of course. So Ibarazaki, sorry, Sereznia was giving me guidance there, but they can't hear him. You can't hear him. So Ben Misery, championship contender, currently 32nd position across the line, coming into pit road for his pit stop. I just said that I was expecting cars to come in. Everybody trickling into the pit lane now. That's Hannah Eastwood's Penske on the verge of getting points, now pulling into her garage in the number 22, as that was Isabel Harvey going through the pit lane. Harvey's actually started well, but since then's really fallen rather quiet, just kind of fallen down the order. Is just currently resting in a nice low position, stops in the box as De Jong is going to exit the pits in 8th position by the looks of it. Pietri exiting the pit road just ahead. Now the pit roads here, you in terms of entering pit road, you come in just before turn 3 and pit lane, and for exiting it, you follow it from the pit exit all the way down to the exit of turn 2, just to help with them rejoining the circuit, because if they were to rejoin straight away onto the oval, they'll be on the low side, which is the optimal racing line. So it's just all about, I guess, all about safety at the end of the day. You don't want massive 200-mile-an-hour shunts coming around a corner with a car coming out of the pits on cold tyres. So Mondragon stops in his box, another MMS F1 sponsored driver, running quite well actually. As Mansell Clerk, 5th in the standings, is going to come out side by side with Toby Bullard. Bullard might jump him here. This is critical for their races, but no, Clerk is able to hold on to it, only just from the championship leader, Toby Bullard, who is going to come out. He's going to come out side by side with TJ Nisbet here. Maybe he's going to be behind Nisbet. Nisbet's going to get in front. He's going to split those two guys. He has the speed on Clerk, but no, Clerk has done that perfectly and is now ahead of TJ Nisbet, whilst Bullard has to sit in behind the Andretti, which pitted last on lap 15. So they have 10 lap fresher tyres. Talleman's in the pits. No cautions being called out since the crash between Takashiro and Arts. Cyclone exits the pits. Sorry, it was Veit. Yes, not Arts. It was Veit. Pietri currently position 2. I don't know who the race leader. Number 5. Can't remember quite off the top of my head. I have to check my notes. Who that? It's Tanneman. Yes. In the Arrow Schmidt Peterson Motorsports number 5 car, I believe, still has to come into pit road. Michael Teller pressurizing Yaya Tunde. There's the other ASP car of Isabel Harvey just behind the number 9 Chip Ganassi car. I don't know if that's for position or not. It is for position. Richard Waltrip in 12th position, just ahead of Harvey. I'm going to go on the chase cam here. In the slipstream is Harvey. Again, everyone just kind of filing through in single file. No one's really making moves or pulling out early. They're all kind of just sitting in behind, waiting for a mistake from someone or something like that. But I guess, I mean, we saw at Nazareth, for example, we had a lot of 2 and 3 wide moments, but here we don't have many of them. Everyone's pretty much single file. Coming now into turn 3. Everything just sort of relaxing itself out. But yeah, about Isabel Harvey's season so far, constantly been running at the top of the order, currently 8th in the standings. She had a, I believe it was 6th place finish. 6th place finish in the first 2 rounds, then a DNF in the next 2, and then picked up 5 more points last time out at Road America. She's been consistent, but the DNFs are really just freak accidents, just a bit unlucky. The ASP in general has been quite an unlucky team as they come through turn 3 now. However, we're looking to put that right. Currently running in 13th position. That'll be warranting 8 points for those efforts. As Ava Valyak is in 11th position, running as high as 2nd in this race, just behind Valentine. That's not for position. But yeah, Valyak was running very well at the start of this race, so I presume when other cars pit, Valyak will shoot back up the standings into most likely a podium position. As that's a move from Chinami in that livery on De Campo. I believe that might actually be for position. So we got the other ASP car of Atkinson just behind. That is who is a lap ahead of them, and not making any moves on either of them. Race is kind of just smoothened out a bit. Everyone's kind of calmed down. No cautions since the, what lap was it? Lap in the lap 8 or 9 or something like that. We had the no spins or anything. And we are almost at 1/3 distance here at the MMS 250. As we now look at Arts trying to make a move on Kraus. That is for position, and that is for the final points position, because we have extended the amount of points gained from 18 to 20 positions for this special event. So half the grid will score points, as here we have finally an overtake made. Kraus is on the high side, and Arts has managed to pull up alongside enough to keep him there, and Frederick Arts has taken 20th position, which is the final point. He'll pick up 1 point for those efforts. And the next car, Cycron, is stuck behind Matthew Barton's Penske. They've got Regano in between them. Regano's a lap ahead of them all. No, actually no, Regano is in 19th, I think. We'll have to check that, because Cycron's in 18th and we had Arts in 20th. So no, Regano's in 4th. Okay.
I am back.
Right. Kai is back. There's not really much to talk about, if I'm being honest. There's not really much going on.
Yeah, the race is very calm, which is surprising. You know, people before the race there were speculations about injuries, major accidents, and what we actually got is well, you know,
Nisbet's in the pits for the 4th time.
Yeah, I don't know. He's on an alternative strategy. You know, I think he might win this race.
It's a very opportunistic thing to say. As here's another train of cars.
Meanwhile, there's a train for the lead.
Pietri The race leader needs to overtake Taggart here.
Oh,
goes on the inside,
that's a bit of a tap.
a nudge, and gets the position. And but so does Ethan Bishop. That's critical. Bishop wasted no time whatsoever in overtaking that car, and neither has Stefan de Jong. And look at the run that Bishop's got now. This could be a move for the race lead. This race has suddenly catapulted into action. Bishop's pulling out. This is for the race lead. Ethan Bishop on the inside. On the low side into turn 1 of Pietri, who's led this race commandingly from start to finish. Not anymore. Ethan Bishop has taken the race lead, and Stefan de Jong's going to follow him through. De Jong's going to take second place in that Andretti. Pietri's dropped down to third. So disaster for Pietri, who's been so consistent at the front, so unchallenged.
Oh,
but no, Pietri's making the move again, and they caught the lap cars. Almost contact. That was almost contact between Bishop and one of the lap cars, as Pietri has made the move on de Jong, and now trying to Bishop. They're side by side coming down the home straight as everything has suddenly exploded in action. There's literally neck and neck coming down the straight, as there's a move also being made on de Jong there, and Pietri's going to retake the lead of the MMS 250 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The number 48 is back into the race lead, as Bishop is also overtaken by, I don't know who that is. I think it's a lapped car.
But she's lapped.
Still side by side, actually. Evelyn Tugud, yes, in 16th position. Tugud's on the low side, which has been so consistently better than the high side.
And that's de Jong overtaking.
De Jong has overtaken Ethan Bishop. Is up into second place. As into the pits comes Valentine.
Oh dear! Look at this pack.
We suddenly have cluster after cluster instead of single file.
You know, this is what we waited for. You know, you just give the drivers 36 laps and they start the race.
If you just tuned into this race, your current top 3, you have I can't pronounce the first name. I'm sorry if I botched it.
Pietri, Stefan de Jong, and Ethan Bishop.
Yeah, Egidus Pietri, Stefan de Jong, Ethan Bishop. Your top 3. Ben Misery, if you're wondering, championship contender, currently in bottom 10 drivers in this race. Other championship contender Takashiro retired after a one-off driver Vit, and the championship leader Toby Bullard. But we haven't seen much quietly making it up from where he started. I think he's probably in the top 7 right now, as Andrew
Mondragon and Teller in the background also
making a move. Both MMS F1 drivers making moves here on the Gamebridge car and getting past.
And there are 2 same-looking cars, Teller and Bragano. You know, 2 liveries, two same liveries pretty much, but 2 completely different drivers.
Indeed. So
just looking through the whole field. Oh dear, that's Sonia. Never mind. That's how she's
never
out.
Mind. Is that a mechanical failure?
Possibly.
He's pulled off at the exit of the pit lane. Oh look,
yeah, Sonia Nevermind has retired. She is out of the race due to
I think that probably is a mechanical failure, judging by the fact that quick to everyone's way. Nevermind is out.
Well,
no caution though.
She has towed herself rather quick, so no caution needed. Parked it in a way that is also safe. But speaking of
things that are safe, one of them is not Pietri's lead, which might. Here comes Stefan de Jong up the inside.
She went very high. He might.
She is so high indeed. And now here comes Ethan Bishop as well. Bishop's going to take the position as well. It's a carbon copy of what happened a few laps ago. Pietri down to 3rd.
Is Pietri losing his cool? It's either, you know, his worn tires, mind you, he has done only one stop so far, or it just maybe he's losing his concentration. Sorry, he's losing his cool, and he's very close to pretty much losing the lead, as the top pack has caught back up to the pack of Yaya Tunde.
Yaya Tunde, please get a point this season.
He's so far way out of it.
Do it for Baba, okay? He's watching in his hospital bed.
Yeah, Baba Tunde, Jesus Christ. Apparently he doesn't have a right foot, and pretty much the half of his left leg.
Exactly. We mentioned in the Q&A before his digits in terms of percentage. That probably will not change.
Yeah.
But I have actually been quite impressed with the MMS F1. The less said about Vit, the better. But Teller and Mondragon in particular have been rather impressive so far. Mondragon's in the top 12, Teller just behind him. It's good stuff from them.
And we're approaching the halfway point here at the MMS Indy 250, sponsored by the Estonian broadcasting company and me. Oh, and there's Mondragon. Speaking of the F1 drivers,
Here he
and
goes.
Teller, both of them.
That's on Lucien. They're both absolutely blasting past Lucien.
Teller and
getting a
Mondragon
position each respectively.
are fighting for position, mind you, so we might get some interesting backmarker battles here in case of MMS. I mean, HRT isn't a backmarker team anymore. They have pulled themselves up into some interesting positions, but
with just constant reinvestment, they have been quite. They've been fortunate at times, but they have used their money rather. Unlike, I mean, we've had. You have to mention the case of Virgin, Aston Martin. When Aston Martin came in, they inherited.
Oh,
that was Michael Teller hitting the wall. Just to interrupt myself there, Teller has just hit the wall with his rear right tyre. Has that damaged the suspension or the driveline or something?
Might have.
He'd been running flawlessly up to this point.
It might be damaged.
For his sake, I hope there's no damage. But that was quite a big hit into the wall at high. Doesn't seem to be any damage.
Meanwhile, Pietri has disappeared.
But anyway, what I was going back to...
Pietri has came into the pits.
Pietri has pitted, yeah. So De Jong leads this race from Ethan Bishop.
De Jong has a comfortable lead because Bishop is back down there, just snapping Tunde now, and Bishop is actually pitting now.
He's pitting.
And so is De Jong, so they are trying to overcut Egidius Pietri here.
And we've seen the overcut be so effective in recent times. They were right next to each other when Pietri pitted, I presume. So this will be interesting. I mean, going back, Virgin and Aston Martin. Virgin is an example not to do with him, which is spend none of it.
I mean, at least they saved up their money, which is, you know,
yes,
beneficial.
Exactly. Which now Aston Martin is pouring the money in, even into academies. They paid an awful lot of money.
Yep.
To send one of their drivers into a seat, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I mean Ethan Bishop comes out of the pits behind De Jong, and where is that Pietri?
And the 88 has retired. That's
88 has retired. Now, who is the number 88? That is.
That's never mind. So the mechanical failure is official, pretty much. Okay, now here's Waltrip. He's Eastwood. Okay, there's Nino Johnson, Tunde.
We cannot find Pietri. Where has he gone?
Bullard. Tanneman is also into the pits. Quite crucial for his race, as he's at the moment the leader.
Yes, precisely.
Then we have quite a lot of cars.
Teller has pitted, so we'll probably have one more pit window. Teller's just going to come out in front of that.
And there's De Jong in second.
In second place, so I presume, who's in the lead? I presume it's Pietri.
You're probably right, but where is he?
Where is Pietri? He has absolutely disappeared off our... there's Tanneman. Tanneman was leading the race. I don't know where he is now.
I think De Jong took the lead, because mind you...
So where is Pietri? De Jong has jumped him, Bishop's jumped him. Where is he? There he is.
He's behind the Campo.
He's stuck behind Luca de Campo's ASP. And what now? What position? That position is what it was when he crossed the line last lap. What's it going to be this lap? As he comes across the line, we'll get to see which position he's in. Wait for it to update. He's in fourth. So he's lost out big time. I think Tanneman's taken... No, it's Marchetti in third. Marchetti still has to pit, I think. But look how far ahead De Jong is. Straight in front of our previous leader of this race. There's Marchetti in third place, who'll probably come into the pits very soon. Ethan Bishop is still hanging on in there, so this has turned from a 3-horse race into a 2-horse race for the win between Stefan De Jong and Ethan Bishop. Well, it certainly seems that way, as Bishop has to try and clear Isabel, unsuccessful in getting past her. Just going to try again. Oof. I'm just going to drink a water real quick. I don't know what's happened to my co-commentator. I think he's had to had to mute again, so I'm all by myself again. But yeah, we're on lap, about to start, well, Harvey's about to start lap 7. The race leaders have started lap 48 of 100 in this Indy 250 here for MMS. We're just going to cycle through the grid a little bit. Stefan de Jong always trying to make 100 back off the Team Penske car, and that would have been an airborne crash. That would have been a terrible crash, especially to end the way that de Jong has been running so far in this race. He's up high though. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? We haven't seen many cars overtake on the high side. Here he comes. No, he's not able to do it. And there goes Harvey slipping up the inside. And Ethan Bishop is waiting in the ranks, waiting to pounce on this developing situation here. Side with Harvey. He's got to be really careful he doesn't go too high here. He hasn't gone too high. Still all looks okay. Coming through turn 2. Bishop senses his opportunity. Here we go. Ethan Bishop is sensing the opportunity. He's drawn up alongside the Andretti. This is for the race lead. This is crucial. This is absolutely crucial. Ethan Bishop is alongside. He's not quite in front. Here he comes into turn 3. Bishop on the inside has taken the lead just about. He needs to follow away completely. There you go. He's now full car length ahead. He has definitively taken the lead of the MMS 250. But look at the run that de Jong's got. De Jong might go back for this position here. No, he's pulled out of it. He backed off a little bit in the draft there. So Ethan Bishop leads this race. As he starts lap 50 of 100, we're at the height in this race. As Harvey makes a move on Matthew Barton, who is trundling around at the back of the... But that is the first change of lead since the pit stop phase. And how long will it last for Ethan Bishop? He needs to hope that he clears the back markers quickly, while Stefan de Jong doesn't. That will be his main aim. But join us tomorrow at the same time for MMS Formula 1 tomorrow. It will be broadcast at the same time, published at the same time. You do not want to miss it as the championship continues to hot up. We have 3-horse race, it seems, for the title. Smith, Murray, and Littlegren. You do not want to miss out on the action. But back to where we are now. If you've just tuned in, well, welcome along firstly to the race. Currently, we have Ethan Bishop currently leading this race from Stefan de Jong, and in third position, I believe, is Pietri, depending on if Marchetti has pit or not. We've had 1 caution so far, and we've had 4 retirements. The number 10 car, the number 88 car, the number 66, and also the car of Simon Witt in number 64. Those are your retirements for this race so far. We've got a battle here. Stefan de Jong trying to... Ben Misery, championship contender Ben Misery, has had a diabolical race, in all fairness to him. He may well try, he driven his hardest, but either the car or his strategy has just not been on point, and he's trundling around in the bottom 10 positions. As we're on board with Mondragon, and Mondragon has got Michael Taylor. They are teammates for this race. They're bitter rivals in... But this is opportunity, I think, for Mondragon to show his class, because in that HRT, of course, the HRT can drive circles around that Lotus. So if Mondragon can beat Teller in this race, that would be a statement, I guess, saying that he is actually, he deserves that HRT more than Teller does. But with a visor of Michael Teller, as he goes 216 miles per hour through this corner. As there's a move up ahead, that is either chauffeur or chauffeur, yes. And he's been absolutely blitzed by everybody. No, actually not by Teller. Teller slots in behind him. That's a missed opportunity, I think, for Teller. I think he had the overspeed. As de Jong overtakes Hannah Eastwood's Penske, that's not for position. We have a lot of lapped cars in this race. As they come on the exit of turn 2, we've got Richard Waltrip leading this train in his number 9 Chip Ganassi. There's about Harvey just ahead. And then we have the 2 race leaders, Ethan Bishop and Stefan de Jong. You can see your retirements list on the right there. As we now go to the front, the top 2 are within a tenth of each other, and it's about a second back to third position. So come onto the home straight once again. Bishop needs to clear the last of the lapped cars in this train, which is Richard Waltrip, who is running in the points, may I add. Waltrip goes defensive and compromises himself and Bishop by doing so. That might... The name of the game here is just patience. We still have 45 laps completed by these guys. He just needs to sit behind and wait for the exact right moment, whether it's now or the last lap, whenever the time is perfect, to catch Bishop out. But importantly, he needs to pull the move off and then pull away. He needs to do it. He needs to catch him out so much that he can't respond in time and he can build a buffer. Because once you don't build a buffer, you just become vulnerable and you're just swapping places and compromising each other. As that is Kawata Chinami being overtaken by Richard Waltrip. I don't think that's full position. Chinami's had a very bad run out of the last corner and has been subsequently swamped by 4-5 cars now as Mondragon's. But yeah, third position is still the number 59 car, and the number 59 car is Alex Marchetti in that car. I don't know if he has to pit again or not, because I don't think he pitted around the same time as our leader did, and he is currently ahead of 2 lapped cars, and then behind them is Pietri, a few seconds behind. He pretty much dominated the first quarter of this race, but then came under pressure and crumbled immediately. He is in 4th place. His last lap was not that slow actually, 40.9, but his best lap I'm sure could be improved on. That must be slower than the race leaders, as he's just come across the line now. All isolated, all alone in clean air, which is, I guess, what you want. As I look through the field, that's his nearest competitor, Davido Ragano, in 5th position. We have Suominen, who won the Nazareth race sorry, not Suominen, Bullard in 6th position, with Suominen, who won the Nazareth race just ahead of him. Championship leader Bullard. That championship lead would maintain itself because of his nearest are behind him. The nearest rival that he has that's ahead of him is Marchetti, 9th in the standings, on 28 points compared to Bullard's monstrous 64, so it wouldn't make a difference. This is all just helping Toby Bullard so far in this race, as he's in the slipstream of Suominen coming down the home straight, pit lane on your... And just like it was when I was alone last time, everything has kind of calmed down. No real moves being at everyone in single file. So as soon as my co-commentator comes back, if history repeats itself, the race will explode into action. I'm certainly hoping it does. On the back straight, still looking at Bullard's car. He has to watch his back. He still has people behind him, of course. This is always the thing. You are very close to overtaking a car, to losing a car behind you, as the Campo pits there, and now Bullard is making a move finally on Suominen. It's not for effective position. It's for track on the inside, and he's going to overtake Lucien as well, who was held up as Lucien was overtaken by, I don't know which car that is. Just behind Regano now. It's Mansell Clerk. Oh, we might have 3 wide here. Look at the overspeed that Bullard's got here as well. Through goes Mansell Clerk, and Bullard take advantage. 4 position now, Bullard and Regano. Regano caught napping, Bullard takes 5th. Toby Bullard is up into 5th position, and now Davide Regano will be kicking himself. Because my mistake earlier, actually, Regano is a championship contender, and he has just lost a position to Toby Bullard, which means Bullard will now outscore him in this race, and therefore pull away a bit in the championship, as we have half of the grid is a lap down, more than half. I think everyone below 11th position is currently a lap down. Yes, that was correct. Back to this is the leading group right now. We have Ethan Bishop and Stefan de Jong, Isabel Harvey and Andrew Mondragon in the train. As de Jong is making a move, he's making a move for the race lead here. He's timed it to perfection. He's caught Ethan Bishop out, who was not expecting that. And Stefan de Jong breezes past and takes the lead of the race. He's pitting. No wonder he was so aggressive, because he's just coming to the pits. But this is really Bishop's run now, and he's under attack. I think he hit the wall, so He's under attack from Isabel Harvey now, and that will be Andrew Mondragon also looking to bounce. We're looking at De Jong as he crosses the line, still in second position. Such is the lead that he and Ethan Bishop have over the rest of the field. Comes to his pit box. Tyres off. Might get held up here by Suominen though. Has just behind him into the pits. Comes with another car, and he is away. He is away and leaving the pit lane. I don't know what position he's in. But he's still at 5. Looking at Regana right now, who was in 5th position. That'll turn into 4th as they've overtaken now, as that's of overspeed coming into turn 3. Regana sitting in behind Bullard, trying not to lose him, as they've now caught up to another train of cars. And that's going low. That was 2 other cars. I think they might be heading for the pit road. And they're going very slowly. Tanneman comes in. As Lucien carries on. Marquez's finally coming to the... So, this now is absolutely critical. Oh, Bishop almost makes contact there with Isabel Harvey coming. Where is Stefan de Jong? Where is that Napa Andretti car? There it is! And Stefan de Jong has maintained his lead of the race. The undercut has worked, and he's actually extended that gap by a few seconds over Ethan Bishop, but he is stuck behind Luca De Campo, and he needs to get past him. To turn 3 again? No. Just patient. Sorry, just getting a drink of water. I'm always out of water, so always bring enough water when you're in a long-haul commentary like this. What's coming out of the pits is, I believe, Tanneman coming out of the pits. It is Tanneman coming out of the pits, and he's going to slot in just in front of this group on his fresh tyres. So perfectly timed pit stop by Aro Schmidt-Peterson. They've got him out in front of that massive train, which Eber Valyak is now spearheading. In terms of the cars who are fighting for actual position. I believe the cars in front, Barton, and I still don't know who that is in front of Barton, who's making a move now. They're probably a lap down on Eber Valyak. Valyak will look to clear them very quickly. We've got TJ Nisbet just behind them, well on the other end. Through turn 2 for the 64th out of 100 time as Toby Bullard's come out the pit and has jumped that enormous train of cars as well. That's perfect for him. The last thing you want coming out of the pits is to be bogged down with lapped cars. As finally by turn 3, but doesn't pull it off. That's very well defended around on the side, and the Penske can't get past, and that might compromise him as here comes Eber Valyak now on the home straight. Eber Valyak in the I forget which team it is. Let me just check the Carlin. Excuse my voice crack. That's the first voice crack we've had. It's taken me 65 laps, almost an hour, to have it. As now Valyak sends one up the inside of Matthew Barton, opportunistic, and now it's all kicking off here. Everybody trying to get past everyone else. Barton is losing out a position there, and we're side by side there. Atkinson also making a move. I don't know. I think. Suominen indeed, yes, making a pass on Ben Misery, who's dropped now to the back of that queue. Ethan Bishop has clean air, and it will be looking to hunt down his rival, Stefan de Jong. You can see is directly the car in front, and de Jong bogged down, stuck behind other cars, losing speed on this pit straight. He's stuck behind. Oh, look how quickly Ethan Bishop takes that corner. 40.9 on his last lap. I'd love to see what probably wasn't much quicker. De Jong's was a 42.5, much slower. He's stuck behind Waltrip and Lucien. Waltrip's trying to make a move on Lucien, which might hold them up as well. But now that Bishop's caught de Jong, is he going to be able to pass him? De Jong has led for over 10. De Jong has led since lap 61, as they're about to start lap 68. How long will his lead last? As Eber Valyak is in the pit lane. Through turn 1. And again, everything kind of calming down, particularly at the front. Bishop and De Jong will not want to take any risks. Right time for that. When we get to the last few laps, then it might be time to be more aggressive. But for now, no real need to. A couple of individual battles forming here. Not too many. Those Varyak's coming out of the pits behind Toby. Change of effective position. Buller will pick up a place on a Valyak. As we're looking at Rapuli Pascana, became the meme of the Nazareth race of being so many laps in the toe of Matthew Barton, trying to get past. We've got Atkinson and Suam, and then just behind is Pascana, currently in 10th position, having a good race. Going to be able to pull this one off. Coming into turn 3, sitting nicely in the draft. We can go on board with a riser, and Pascana is going down the inside, makes a little... Nothing too serious, a little bit of rubbing of wheels, nothing else. And Pascana and Atkinson and Suominen all overtake the Penske of Matthew Barton, who in 35th position probably wants this race to be over. We have Ben Misery just in front there. Probably a place to De Jong, probably going to lose a place to Bishop as well. What has happened to this man? He has had a torrid race. With one of the worst of his career that he will ever experience. He is ridiculously slow right now. Unsuccessful in his attempts to hold to the position, and look how many... 7 positions in the space of a lap. Really not good from Ben Misery, the championship contender, and he is heading for another... This will be his second dismal result in a row. But yeah, Bishop is still holding on to the back of Taman De Jong. Sorry, not Taman De Jong, I'm thinking MMS Formula 1, Stefan De Jong. Taman De Jong will be in action tomorrow in MMS. Bishop is still just sitting in the slipstream. Not really bump drafting, just staying in the toe as he needs to be. Because as soon as you lose the toe, you're going to lose a lot of time, a lot of speed. It really does pull you along quite a lot. But okay, just a quick roundup if you have just joined us. We are starting lap 72 of 100 here at the S250. We've completed just under 200 miles. We have just over 50 to go. Current race leader is Stefan De Jong in the number 27 Napa Andretti Autosports car, followed by Ethan Bishop in that number 20 car, driving for, if I could find the right team, driving for Ed Carpenter Racing. And in third position is the number 59 car of Marchetti in the Carlin. Carlin's having a good race here, actually. Eva Valyak as well, number 23, Carlin. Kraus, I don't know where he is. He was battling a lot at the start, but in the number 31 car, he might still be in the points. I'm very unsure of that. We can cycle through a little bit now. Rapuli Pascana, 10th position, and Valyak is down to 21st, having made a pit stop more than everyone. Valyak side by side, and getting the move done on the low side just behind Toby Bullard. Bullard in P8, championship leader in P8, just behind Tanneman, Schmidt-Peterson cars. All these guys being held up by Ron in a classic train that we've been seeing all race long. As a move trying to be made, I think that's by Andrew Mondra. Not going to work out on that occasion, just a little bit too far back, heading into the braking. Not really braking, so turning point. You don't really brake in these cars, you more just lift off. Tanneman is fourth position with Toby Bullard. Michael Clerk in 20th. There'll be 1 point coming his way, and yes, Kraus is in the... So that's points for another car. And once everyone else comes to the pit lane, I think Valyak will be able to pick up some points. Getting into a points pain position. We've got, I believe, Michael Teller, that is, ahead of ours. As the MMS F1 guys are putting on quite a good show driving the wheels off their cars respectively, doing good jobs. Both have climbed positions so far in this race. And Kraus is sitting nicely in the slipstream of that. I don't believe a position, I think he's a lap down on him. But still he'll want that because he does have a car. He has 2 cars right behind him, 20th and 21st, who will be looking to pinch those points away from him. He'll be picking up 2 points if he finishes 19th. But if he finishes 21st, he'll get a grand total of 0. Excuse me. As Mondragon tries to make a move again, and that time has got past Ronnie Chauffeur. Open the floodgates and allow everyone past up the inside. Kraus, Teller, they're all passing him now. Is losing more and more time. He's being absolutely swamped by everybody. And that is the punishment for allowing someone to go down your inside. You just end up with a sea of cars up here inside the next few corners, as we're seeing more and more here. And Kraus is really nicely tucked in behind the rear wing of Michael coming onto the back straight. The mile-long back straight. And is he going to be able to pull this one off? Not quite. And he's having to defend from another car there. I don't know who that is trying to make a move. But Kraus has lost the position. And is now under pressure from Tanneman, who's just pulled back into the draft there. And we've got Eber Valyak just behind. That's 4th position with Eber Valyak for the points. So he'll be looking not to let Valyak past. As now Teller is losing a position. Teller has lost a place to, I think that's the number 12. I don't know if it's gone, so we don't have direction in terms of the drivers. That's Mansell Clerk, yes. Mansell Clerk. So he's just elevated himself up into 19th position ahead of Kraus. So Kraus down to 20th as Kraus heads for pit road. Kraus has entered the pit lane. And I think Seresnia has gone AFK, so we're going to be stuck looking at Kraus for a while. So it's up to me to be the entertainment, I guess. No, he's just in time as well, as Taggart is in the pit lane just behind us. Toad Bollard, 9th position, now elevated a couple of places from where he started. But still, he'll be quite dissatisfied if he ends up there, I'm sure. If I just check with the quality results again. So it was Bullard qualifying in 19th position as Pietri, a former race leader, and has come into the pit lane. So has Stefan de Jong, that's good. Stefan de Jong, race leader, into the pit lane. And look at how much time he's gained on Pietri in the last stint. Pietri's only just pulling into his garage now. De Jong is already out of the pit road. And that was Ethan Bishop. I'm sure that was Ethan Bishop who's just passed him there. It was. Bishop's taken the race lead. So we must have missed it off camera, but Bishop either has undercut him or has just taken that place on circuit. They're still stuck behind Richard Waltrip though, so I presume stops. So Ethan Bishop has elevated himself into a race-winning position, and we only have 20 more laps to go. We're 4/5 of the way done. We've completed 200 miles. We have 50 to go. And they're coming up on a lapped car now. I don't know who it is. In the number 98, and need to clear him quickly, and Bishop is exactly following Waltrip through on the inside. Aaron Bishop clears the lapped car, and he's lapping rather fast as well. 40.4 last lap, so that means Waltrip must be going quite quickly. He's still in the points. He's in 11th position, if I remember correctly. I'll be looking to get more. Whew. I'll tell you, this is tiring stuff. I have massive praise for commentators who are endurance races and everything, because this is tough. But now looking at a train of 6 cars. Evelyn Toogood holding up former race leader Pietri. Toogood in the final position without picking up any points. As I've said multiple times, but yeah, you just joined us, welcome to... We are currently 4/5 of the way through the MMS 250, completed 200 of the 250 miles here in the state of Indiana in America. We have currently Ethan Bishop leading this race for Carlin. Then we have the Andretti of Stefan de Jong in second, and Marquette, sorry, not the Carlin of Ethan Bishop, the Ed Carpenter racing car of Ethan Bishop, and then we have the Carlin of Alex Marchetti in third position, rounding off the podium. Pole sitter Pietri, well, he's just come into the pit lane, but I believe he's running effectively fourth as Waltrip has come in. So that will release Ethan Bishop. Bishop will now be released, and it's all down to him whether he wins this race. There he is. He's got de Jong you can see de Jong just in the back of the shot there, 3 seconds back, I'd say. And he needs to maintain that gap. He cannot let de Jong get any, or it will be all over for him. And I don't know why it's saying minus 31 seconds. I think it's 3.1, frankly, as they come across the line. And he's now coming up on the back of 1.7 seconds even, much closer than I thought. And Chauffeur is holding him up here. Now where's the... He has to clear Suominen before he can have a go at... On board with the visor cam now as he's revving out that car, 220 miles an hour. As he goes into the corner and slows it down to 210. All the way down to 200, even down to 205, maintaining that speed through this corner now. And onto the main straight. We don't expect any more pit stops from the front guys, as Chauffeur's had a really bad run, being up the already overtaking before they even get to the corner were Bishop and Nisbet, and now de Jong has to follow him through here. He can't let Chauffeur back in front, and indeed he has. He's gone on the low side, and Stefan de Jong has crucially overtaken the compromised Ronnie Chauffeur. But now, look how close he is to Suominen, but that's critical. Either the Bishop's making a move on Nisbet. No, he's pulled out of it. He's pulled back into the draft as de Jong pulls out of the draft and takes track position over Suominen, and it's now... Oh, Suominen's hit the wall there. Has to be careful not to crash much harder than that. And look who they've caught up now. They've caught up the train being... They've caught up a big train. I think that's Luca De Campo spearheading it, as he has been all race. We've got Ben Misery at the front as well, who's had, as his name would suggest, miserable time this afternoon. Stefan de Jong was that was some very good racecraft from Stefan de Jong, picking the right moments to overtake other cars. Looking through the field now, we have Johnson actually running in 7th place. That will be a very good result for him. But that 7th place is under attack from Tanneman. I believe that is for position. I certainly know Bullard is for position. Here comes Tanneman, and he takes 7th position, and Bullard is going to probably try and follow him through here. Moose still not quite done yet. Bullard's going low. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? No, as Tanneman just about in front. They're actually still side by side. This is very well held from Johnson all the way through the corner. He's actually got more speed than Tanneman as they head down towards turn 3. On the high side, Tanneman still low and still able to pick off that position. Surely, he must be able to pull this one off. Yes, he has done now. And now Bullard's going to follow him through. Johnson on the high side, he hasn't got the draft. They've both got the same amount of draft because Tanneman's kind of in the middle of the road from where they are. And we've got Pascana. This is all for position here. Tanneman all the way down to Pascana. That is for position. We're going to go on board with Ripuli Pascana. As the number 81 car is going to try and slide down the inside. Not quite on. Maybe he is going to. Did he miss a shift or something there? Surely not, because they're in 6th gear all the time. Just... Johnson's car just didn't accelerate like it should. Look how high he's going. He's got more speed on exit, but now he's still not going to be able to pull that one off. Up the inside goes Pascana. Johnson relegated down to 10th, but look at the exit speed. He might actually be able to hold on to this one. Fantastic drive off the corner, and yes, he's back ahead. So great stuff from Johnson to be able to hold on to that 9th place. He couldn't hold on to the 7th and 8th, but he's able to hold on to the 9th.
I exist.
And Neno Johnson has picked the position, and Kai is back. Good to have you back. We have just over 10 laps left to go in this race. And hopefully, now that you've come back, it will explode into action like it did last time.
Yeah, just, you know, the usual. I just have to Houdini out myself out of commentary for the whole race, but I'm back.
I tell you though, this is quite hard. As I already said, massive praise for commentators for long haul commentaries.
I'm impressed with you.
It is very hard. As Alex Marchetti has, so does Mansell Clerker finally recognised his car after a million attempts. Jeez. And he's been trying to go on 20th all the way along, but no, he's catching up to two guys, 4 points, and he's got good pace.
Wait.
As Pietri's back into third, so Marchetti's pitted.
Hold up. Emi Ibarazaki's in fourth.
Where did Ibarazaki start this race? Where's Ibarazaki started?
No clue.
Ibarazaki started in... Oh, goodness me. Ibarazaki started 39th. He's up 35 places since the race started. That is incredible. Yeah. That is how you stamp your authority on a championship, and he's in, because Pietri's only just up the road, literally a tenth of a second ahead.
Meanwhile, Pietri now trying to lap Luciano.
That is certainly a drive for the day contender.
Nah, man, TJ Nisbet driver of the day.
We're making 20,000 pit stops.
Meanwhile, Stefan de Jong in second place.
Has overtaken? No, it hasn't overtaken. Sorry, I looked at. They still have not been able to overtake.
Waltrip is still holding them off.
I mean, he's doing a good job. They've been behind him half the race now, and they haven't been able to get past him.
Now, 10 laps to go.
We are starting lap 91 of 100 here.
Now,
25 miles to go here in Indiana.
Back home in Indiana. I couldn't play it because of
We're getting copyrighted if we play that. Unfortunately, because Susan doesn't like people who don't respect rules.
This race has been pretty much a roller coaster of quick action and sheer boredom. But
yes, a very big mix of them, just like a normal F1, you know?
Yeah, they follow each other through, it's just that they don't make moves because they can't.
We've only had the one caution all race as well.
A few scraps here and there, a few tappy taps, but nothing
only one
too
major,
big.
Yeah, only one real major in.
Yeah, Veit has been taken to a hospital. He did go into the catch fence, mind you.
I wouldn't say catch fence. I'd say just.
He did tap it. He did tap it.
I can't remember the incident that well, but just reminded me of Rosenquist's accident, and remarkably, Rosenquist was okay. So.
Still a powerful shot.
I'm sure it will be fine, as I have now. In where I'm sitting as the Campo pits, also in the pits is Coat. And this might be the move here from Stefan de Jong on Ethan Bishop. He's really tucked it behind him. Once again, Waltrip is at the front of the train, and Waltrip has actually had very good pace. He's had the same pace as these top two all race, and they have fallen back to the top three. They've only pulled away. So Waltrip's supposed to be starting. And look at the speed that de Jong's got. He just backs out of it, coming into turn 3. He was so close. You could practically smell that diffuser ahead of him.
No, wrong camera.
Look how close he gets to the wall there. Going to go on board with the helicopter here. As they come down the straight. It's a start lap 94. We have 7 laps to go. Are we going to see a last lap move for the lead? Or something?
No, but we have.
That's ahead of them. That's Arts and Teller. So Arts trying to defend from, I think it's Harvey. And is still side by side. Coming into turn 3. If we look on board, if we look a bit closer to the track.
It's Mondragon.
Oh yes, it is Mondragon, that's correct.
Oh, and there's Stella, very close to making a move on Mondragon.
Mondragon's had a bad run, here comes Stella. This is for bragging rights in the MMS F1 community. He's drawn up alongside, and the man who's been sitting in Mondragon's shadow all day has finally jumped out of it and has taken 13th place.
Yeah.
It took him 95 laps, sorry, 94 laps, but he's finally overthrown Andrew Mondragon's position.
Yeah, and also
Mondragon now
Richards,
he's down to
that.
16th, Mondragon.
Yeah.
So sudden lack
15th.
of pace.
He's
Sorry,
down to
15th. Sudden lack of pace or
look at
something.
this.
And might all be over here because it comes up the inside of Teller. Mondragon forces. We've got some smoke. There's been a spin on the start-finish straight. That's TJ Nisbet on the pit wall. That is a big accident.
And that's gonna call caution immediately. Oh dear, with Barton. What happened to Barton?
Barton, is he entering the pit lane or something?
No.
Oh, good. Oh dear.
He just doesn't see it.
And are you gonna ride onto the wall here? Or has he been hit again, or is this just a glitch? It's just a glitch, okay.
Still
and is that going to bring out a caution? With only 5 laps to go, do we have a caution?
Yes, we do.
We have a caution. Unbelievable that we're gonna have a 2-lap sprint or something at the end of this race because of TJ Nisbet hitting Matthew Barton into a spin.
And there's Barton.
And getting stranded on the start-finish straight.
And we're just gonna go with the pace car, because why not?
Unbelievable. That Camaro has just... this is really now going to go down to the wire because De Jong...
Oh, they are waiting for the leaders because De Jong is just so in the... Where even is De Jong?
Look for Waltrip as well. Oh, they're even further behind.
But there's Bishop.
There's Ethan Bishop. There's Stefan De Jong.
They have been in... No, they haven't been into the pit. I'm confused. So De Jong
I don't know what they're doing. De Jong is currently heading for the pit lane. He is... Stefan De Jong is using this opportunity to come into the pits.
Wait, 3 laps to go? Is he...
Has he just thrown this away? With 4 laps to go? Has he just thrown away a win? Because the laps cars aren't just going to get out of his way here. What on earth? Or is this a drive-through or something? Because he's not... there you go, fine. Pulls into his garage, but look at all the places he's losing on track.
It was just for fuel.
Oh, it's just a fuel stop, clearly. So he didn't have enough fuel to get to the end, and now on pit road he can go quicker than everyone else.
That's going to be...
I don't know what's going to happen here, but has he just... Did they not fuel that car up enough? Were they expecting... and resting on that?
I have no clue what they were thinking, but nothing good.
Clearly not a good idea. Just look what it's done now.
I am so confused. What we're just witnessing at this stage.
Bishop, and there's 4 cars in between him and Stefan De Jong now. I think this is Bishop's win.
Yeah. Bishop being a meme in FJ, not really being successful until the one race he won. Now he might win the Indianapolis 250.
To Daytona.
Sorry, you know, when it comes to big American races in the number 500 or 250, I always think of Daytona because it's earlier.
Exactly, but we didn't want this to make this like a 2.5.
Yeah,
miles.
no. If this was 2.5 hours, I assume we would have seen half of the field retire by lap 2.
And if your file size would be about 30 gigabytes.
Yeah. I mean, at least I'm not recording the Bandicam.
Yes. Ooh, okay. So, Ethan Bishop's going to start lap 98. I don't know if the pace car's... I don't think it has.
There's the pace car in... Let me... Yeah, it is in it.
It is in the pit lane, so we are green. Ethan Bishop speed and has 3 laps to go to defend his lead and win the MMS 250 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's his nearest competitor, Stefan De Jong. Fresh fuel load, but he's just too far back.
He's
4.3 seconds behind.
Number 9 is out. Number 9 is out. Number 9 is out.
Who is that? That is Richard Waltrip.
Oh dear.
Richard Waltrip has retired from this race, and is that a mechanical failure?
Okay, he was still running here.
He was running in the top 10 for sure.
Let me quickly catch him. We're losing the footage. I'm sorry to everyone, but
where is Waltrip?
I think he's already gone. I cannot
Looks
get
like
the
he's already
footage.
retired. Yeah, so we're going to have to go back even further.
I'm gonna do it later.
We'll do it later in an inquiry, but we're looking currently at Ben Misery, who's holding up a bit of a train of cars here. As evidence who
Too good Barazaki. There's Bishop.
Ethan Bishop is on his penultimate lap now. This is the penultimate time he's going to come down straight And I must say, I never expected him to even come close to winning this race. Okay, he qualified. Ethan Bishop qualified in 15th position, which is 10 places down on Stefan de Jong and 14 places down on Pietri, who dominated the early stages of this race. But once he was caught by de Jong and Bishop, he just crumbled. He couldn't keep up with them.
Here we go, final lap of the MMS Indy 250.
And that's Johnson in the pits on the last lap, throwing away some points. But let's cut to the man of this moment, which is Ethan Bishop, who is now coming into turn 3 for the final time. He started 15th. He's valiantly made his way through the order. He's taken the lead multiple times, but finally he's been able to hold on to it. And now, as he comes around the final corner, Ethan Bishop, in the number 20 Ed Carpenter racing car, is going to make history and win the first MMS 250 running. He takes the checkered flag and wins the race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Second position, as we have Gradin fighting away with another car. That's for 6th place. Everybody now crossing the line together. De Jong takes 2nd position. He'll be disappointed that they didn't fuel that car up enough.
Then in P3, wait a moment.
Who is in P3? It is Pietri, who does get 3rd in the end, so there is a positive end to this race. But he'll be bitterly disappointed.
Bullard in 4th, I wouldn't say
Bullard will extend his championship lead.
Then we have
Pascana. That was massive climb at the end of the race.
With the race over, you know, let me just rewind and see what happened to Bishop. Not Bishop, Waltrip. Because
that car had been running very smoothly already. And suddenly we see retirement. And what did it say, by accident or mechanical? There he is in the pits.
Okay, Here, where is he?
He was behind. Well, too late now, but just circle ahead.
Just circulate. No, he isn't. I cannot.
I saw him on screen. I definitely saw him on the screen.
I literally cannot get him.
What has happened to Richard Waltrip?
The hunt for Waltrip began.
We are doing this for you, by the way. We don't have to do this.
Oh, there he is.
Here's Richard Waltrip. So what's happened to him?
And just accelerate some
We're
time.
on the pace car conditions.
Oh.
Speed looks fine. Gearing ratio looks fine. Comes into the pits. All looks fine.
He just disappears. Houdini.
He just retired. Or just disappeared. Glitched out, maybe.
He just retired. He just retired. There's literally no explanation for his win.
So I guess that's probably a mechanical failure on that.
Yeah. He still finishes 28th.
Well, he's classified, of course.
Oh dear, that was one hell of a race, though. 5 cars weren't lapped.
Congratulations, though, to Ethan Bishop and everyone at Ed Car.
Yeah.
Stefan de Jong rounds out 2nd, Pietri 3rd, Bullard championship leader. With a name like that, you know he's aggressive. Very bullish drive from him today. Also climbing 15 positions, and Rapoli Pascana, redemption, I guess.
Yep,
driver of the day. My driver of the day is going to be Ibarazaki. Started 39th and finished 6th.
I mean, yeah. Right, so that's it from us. Thank you for tuning in to the longest race I think we've ever done. Yeah.
Oh, my throat hurts, yeah.
Yeah, see you next time in Edmonton for the Edmonton Grand Prix. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say other than see you next time.